Did you know that during World War II, the Germans were so terrified of a group of Soviet pilots that they called them the Night Witches because their planes made a sound like broomsticks cutting through the air? That wasn't myth. That was pure fear. In 1941, after Hitler invaded the Soviet Union, a 29-year-old woman named Marina Reskova, a famous pilot sometimes called the Soviet Amelia Earhart, convinced Stalin to let women fly in combat. He agreed, probably thinking they'd fail. Instead, they formed the 588th Night Bomber Regiment, a unit made up entirely of women. Pilots, navigators, mechanics, everything. Their mission was brutal and simple. Fly cheap, old Polikarpov Po-2 biplanes at night and drop bombs on German positions. These planes were made of plywood and fabric. Open cockpit, no armor, no radar, no radio. The top speed was slower than a car on the highway. But that was the trick. They could fly low, cut the engine, and glide silently over enemy lines. The only sound the Germans heard was a soft whoosh before the bombs dropped. That's when the soldiers started calling them Nachthexen, the Night Witches. Each pilot flew 8 to 10 missions a night, often in freezing weather, under fire, navigating by maps and moonlight. Their planes were so slow that enemy fighters couldn't get a proper lock. The Luftwaffe pilots actually had to slow down to avoid stalling midair. More than once, German pilots died trying to chase them. The women flew with no parachutes and carried extra fuel instead. They'd use their lipstick to mark targets on their maps. They flew over 23,000 sorties, dropped 3,000 tons of bombs, and made life hell for the Nazis across the Eastern Front. They destroyed supply depots, rail yards, and bridges, and they did it all while wearing hand-me-down men's uniforms. The Night Witches didn't get the respect they deserved from their own commanders either. They weren't allowed to fly modern aircraft because women couldn't handle them. They proved everyone wrong. 23 of them were named heroes of the Soviet Union, the country's highest honor. By the end of the war, even hardened German troops had learned a rule. If you heard a whisper in the night, "Doug, the witches were coming," they didn't fly the fastest planes or drop the biggest bombs. They just refused to quit, and they terrified one of the strongest armies in history. Now you know. Smart history for dumb times. If you like this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.